Short answer, it wasn't a clear-cut, classless move, but it was tone-deaf and avoidable. Context matters hugely in youth sports, and the same action can be read very differently depending on motive, game state, and how the coach presents it to his players afterward. Here's a full breakdown of why people were up in arms, why some defenders have a point, and what the best practice should look like for coaches in tournaments like the LLWS. Why fans were upset. 1. The unwritten rule of mercy. Even at youth levels, there's an expectation to stop piling on when the outcome is no longer in doubt. Running aggressive plays, steals, bunts for hits, aggressive base running on passed balls, while up by a lopsided margin is often viewed as rubbing it in. That's especially true in a showcase environment where national attention amplifies perceived poor sportsmanship. Number 2, humiliation effect. For the losing team and their families, seeing opponents continue to run aggressive plays after a 13-run lead can feel humiliating and demoralizing. Little League is developmental and emotional. Public embarrassment can stick with kids. 3. Competitive optics. At higher levels, stealing with a 13-run cushion can be interpreted as disrespect or as trying to manufacture highlights. Even if the coach's intent was developmental, optics matter when millions are watching. Why some defend the move. 1. Little League is developmental. For many kids, this is the biggest stage they'll ever play on. Coaches argue you should keep playing until the final out so every player gets full competitive experience, especially bench players who don't normally see action. 2. Pitch counts and substitutions. In a blowout, managers may rotate in inexperienced players, and encouraging steals or other aggressive base running can give those kids in-game reps they wouldn't otherwise get. Coaches can legitimately claim they were teaching situational awareness, not showing up an opponent. 3. Tournament stakes. Unlike a meaningless regular season game, LLWS games carry enormous significance. You don't want to stop practicing the little things just because the scoreboard is lopsided. Some argue it's better to keep playing hard and finish well. Practical considerations that matter. When in the game, a steal late in the game while up big is more questionable than the same play earlier when a comeback is still remotely possible. Who's on the field? If the opposition still has their best pitchers and lineup in, the margin could feel worse. If both teams are on full substitution, the optics change. How it's executed. A clean, heads-up steal attempt as part of a planned developmental drill is different from repeatedly taking extra bases on wild pitches or aggressive dives that risk injury. Communication and tone. If the coach frames the aggressive play as "we'll keep playing hard" and emphasizes respect after the game, it helps. If the play is taunted or celebrated in a rubbing it in way, that crosses a line. A balanced coaching approach, recommended best practices. 1. Prioritize safety and dignity. Never ask players to slide or stretch for extra bases in a way that risks injury simply to pad a stat line. 2. Use the blowout for development, not humiliation. Give bench players reps, run situational drills, practice fundamentals, but avoid plays that directly embarrass the opponent, e.g. repeated steals on throwbacks with a large lead. 3. Apply a sportsmanship threshold. Many youth coaches operate with an informal rule. If the lead is 8 to 10 plus and the rest of the game is substitution driven, shift focus to fundamentals, not aggressive scoring. 4. Rotate widely. Let everyone bat, pitch, and run the bases in low-pressure ways that teach rather than taunt. 5. Model and teach empathy. Use the situation as a teachable moment about humility, respect for opponents, and how to win graciously. Final verdict. The steal attempt up 13-0 sits in a gray area. Labeling it instantly classless ignores motive and context. Defending it without reservation ignores the emotional impact on the kids who got rolled. If the base steal was a one-off, coach-directed chance for a bench player to get experience and the team celebrated respectfully, it's defensible. If it looked like an intentional effort to humiliate, repeated extra base attempts, loud celebrations, or a late-game push with starters still playing, then criticism is warranted. For future games and high-visibility youth events, the cleanest path is the middle ground. Play hard and teach, but be mindful of scoreboard sensitivity. Little League should be about competition and character. Coaches who keep that balance avoid controversy, and more importantly, they protect the kids.